completely visible. So, here he is. In fact, when a mother has a baby, there's a lot of blood. But inside that mess of blood, there is usually a baby. Well, there is a baby. And he's come in flesh and blood. And Jesus came in flesh and blood. And you know what? Jesus' older brothers did not, or younger siblings, did not believe that he was God. In fact, Jesus grows up, and other people don't believe he's God either. Oh, you're just Joseph's son. You're just from Nazareth. You're a nobody. But Jesus had to do 3 special miracles to prove that he was God. Because the Pharisees and the rabbis at that time believed that if a Messiah came and did these 3 miracles, it would prove that he was God. No one would ever come near a leper. And everybody would back away, but Jesus didn't. He took his finger and his hands and he touched the leper. If you touched a leper that day, you could get unclean, you could get the disease, but he healed him. I'm healed. Jesus came to a blind man and led the blind man up to him. Now, some rabbis had healed blind men, but not blind men from birth. And this man, how long have you been blind? Since birth. Never seen the color, good answer. Never seen the color red or purple or anything like that. And Jesus put mud on his eyes and healed him. He could see. I'm healed. Well, the Pharisees are starting to get a little bit mad because maybe this guy is the Messiah. They should have been excited, but they weren't. So there was another family that Jesus is going to be involved in healing. And Lazarus is getting sicker by the moment. In fact, his heart rate is starting to get slower, going slower and slower and slower. And he died in flatline. Well, Jesus was not coming. Not on day 1, he didn't come because Jesus knew that the Jews believed he had to be dead for 4 days before he was really dead. And Jesus comes on day 4. He's starting to stink now. But Jesus said, "Wake up, Lazarus, come forth." And his heart starts beating. And he awakes from the dead, and he raises him from the dead. Now, the Pharisees are getting quite nervous because Jesus has shown that he is God with us, doing all these miracles. But now it's time for Jesus to die and still show that he's God. So they took his clothes, and they put a crown of thorns on his head, and blood started to come down the rocks. And they took his hands, and they started to pound them in. And they took his feet, and they pounded them in. Oh! Blood was coming from everywhere. And he was dying. He finally died. And God from heaven looked down and saw his son dying. He did all of this. He sent his son to be born, to die, so that he could offer you this gift tonight. And this is the gift that he's offering you. It's the gift of forgiveness. I'm really not that bad a person. But when I look in my bag, I see, ooh, I lied. Jesus died for all of these sins. And he paid for them for you. But you have to receive it. If you have this gift of forgiveness given to you by Jesus, but you have to take it. And in taking that gift, you are dying to yourself because Jesus has been crucified and paid for that, and then you are born again. Maybe this is you this Christmas as a believer. You have people who have done this to you. They've made critical comments. They've done cruel conduct to you, and you're holding that bag and you won't forgive them. But Jesus died for that person's sins too. And this Christmas, maybe it's the person sitting beside you that you have never forgiven. Maybe it's a family member, and you need to offer forgiveness to them. Joey talked, this might be your Christmas of choice. Maybe you have never made that decision to become a believer yourself and accepted everything that Jesus has done. Or maybe you need to offer forgiveness to someone else for things